Kathak is one of the major dance forms that is mainly found in northern India that was developed by the Hindu and Muslim cultures. Kathak is more than just dancing to music. It communicates and demonstrates widely known Hindu ancient stories through dance, music, and lyrics. Kathak dancers typically wear a gagra, which is a long skirt, a blouse called a choli, and a veil. Dancers also wear a sari, which they wrap around their waist and hang down from the left. They also typically dance on stage or in a theater setting with audience viewing so they can see their expressions, body movements, and footwork.
However, Kathak was not always a theatrical dance for the stage. Miss Pallavi, a Kathak guru with more than 25 years of performance experience and 20 years of teaching experience, explains the history.
Katha kahe so Kathak. Katha means story. Kahe means who tells. So who tells the story is the storyteller. So we were basically all storytellers. It started long time back when the temple tradition was going on. And then as in India, Mughals, those were the people who came from the outside, they invaded India. That is where it changed the whole scenario. And it turned from the temple tradition, that is devotion, bhakti. From there it changed to the entertainment aspect, where all these gimmicks started coming in. These different aspects came in because the Mughals, who were the emperors sort of, they used to demand that because then what happened was with the dancers, it was never left to the devotional aspect. For them to earn the bread and butter, they had to come to the court and become the court dancers. That way they earn their bread and butter.
This addresses the concept of imperialism and how it can transform a dance. Let's move into religion next.
As stated earlier, we know that Kathak was developed by the influence of Hindu ancient stories. The dancers do this with their hand movements, their facial expressions, and their footwork. The most common stories they tell through the dance and music are of the Hindu god Krishna. In Kathak, the lyrics of the music are typically religious and romantic, in which the dancer's choreography, along with the type of music played, relates back to many stories of Krishna. For example, in one of the stories, Krishna is playing his beautiful sounding flute in the Vrindavan woods by the Yamuna River. This resembles a deep spiritual relationship between Krishna, the dancers, and the music. The dancers take a lot of liberty when performing Kathak because they are shaping the stories of gods. In the performances, they base it off the devotional, youthful, and romantic aspects of Krishna's life and are very strategic on how they choreograph and perform it.
Kathak today is exposed to the public in a very different way than it was in previous generations. One obvious change is the rise and globalization of dance through social media. One dancer who has embraced this change is Svetlana Tulsi, a classically trained Kathak artist who first became popular with her performance on Ukraine's Got Talent and Russia's Got Talent. Having attributed so much of her success as an artist to the platform of YouTube and other social media, this is what she says regarding how Kathak is represented on the same platform.
A lot of the times I see people post videos on social media doing Kathak fusion, but they don't really have a significant amount of Kathak training, in their background. So they don't have the movement vocabulary, they don't have the foundations to do it right, to do justice to the dance form. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword because I feel like it's good that they're trying, that people are getting exposed to something like Kathak that traditionally, historically used to be a very niche thing for like the Indian, South Asian subcontinent. And now it's like a little bit more out there in the UK, in the US, like Canada, etc., in different places, Russia even,
On social media, we don't just see Kathak as the dance, but Kathak dancers who have expanded their horizons into other dance forms. Kritika Mahajan is a student at OSU who's classically trained in Kathak as a child, but has expanded into self-taught hip-hop.
When you do other dance styles, people will be like, oh, you look like you're doing something so differently because you have the styles from Kathak. So you end up doing it, whether it's Bharatanatyam, I tried learning Bharatanatyam, but still those Kathak styles came through because Kathak is just inherently a much more, looser dance form. So yeah, it's that kind of thing is very interesting, and I think it just helps give me structure, and I'll always be grateful for it.
We have gotten to look at Mughal imperialism, which gave a rise to a new format of Kathak in India. We then looked at the spirituality of the original dance and music based on the religions of the dancers, and then we have analyzed present-day Kathak through popular culture in India and throughout the world today. The use of social media has popularized Kathak so much more than it has before in earlier years. It has made it much more easier to learn, watch, and recreate the Kathak dances. However, one major takeaway from this is that it is especially important to learn and understand the meaning, the culture, the spirituality, and the religion of Kathak to truly learn and appreciate it as an art form.
Yes, let's go!